Good afternoon. I know it's nighttime to everyone. Speaking here from Spain. I am Hiya Islam, and today I'll be helping you, guiding you towards applying for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Scholarship. I think a lot of you may have heard about this scholarship. So this is basically to study in Europe, and sometimes you get to study in Europe plus Asia. It depends on the program. And I got awarded the scholarship in 2022, and in 2024 I graduated, and it was a great experience, and I'm here to tell you more about it so that more of us in the future can benefit and experience this program. So let's get started. This is what I'll be talking about in in short: the introduction, what documents you need, the preparation, and any questions and answers you have at the end. Now, to introduce you, in case you've never heard about it, so it's a joint master program, which means that you get awarded a master that is completed in at least two universities. Okay, so the programs are usually 1 or 2 years, and you will be studying in at least two European universities. Usually it means also two different European universities. And to add more to this, depending on the years, you will be completing 60, 90, or 120 credits. But because it's European, the unit is ECTS. And at the end of the program, you will be awarded a certificate, which is a joint master or dual degree. Even though the title says joint master, it can also be a dual degree program. So you can have two certificates from the universities you study. For example, I graduated from Emotion program. It is about cosmetic and dermatological sciences and also pharmaceuticals. So for me, I have received two certificates. Like I said, it says joint master, but for me it's a dual certificate. But I think this is a good time to mention that when you're applying, this process can be a little confusing. So this is why I wanted to clarify the joint master and the dual degree. It doesn't really matter. It's not the most important thing, but just for your curiosity, this is how the certificates work. I have one certificate from the Spanish university and one from the Italian university. And my program was 2 years, so I had 120 credits. Now about the scholarship. So recently they have made some changes to what they're offering, and this is what, to the best of my knowledge, is right now. The award is going to cover your tuition fees. You won't be receiving this. This is going to be dealt by the Commission, by the European Commission. They will be covering your travel and visa costs. But bear in mind that at first you have to pay it out of your own pocket, and then you will receive the expenses later. The health insurance, again, this will be also provided to you. You don't have to worry about applying for anything. Installment costs. Now, this means that all the costs that are relevant to moving when you're moving from one country to another in your program. And then you have the stipend of 1,400 euros a month. Now, this used to be 1,000 during our time. This is now 1,400. However, there might be, how can I say, there might be some more or less figures for the installment cost, travel and visa. Like, what I understand is that they might have reduced the amount they cover for travel and visa, installment cost, etc., and then increase the living cost. So I think it's more or less the same, like the total amount of money you're getting awarded. And now moving on to how you're going to access. Now, this is not like other programs where you have one portal. It's not like UCAS or other American universities. You have a catalog, okay? And the website is also quite long, the URL, which is why I did not add it here. but you can easily access it when you type in the keywords Erasmus Mundus catalog and then the year you're looking for. So for you, it's going to be 2026. And usually it's the first one that you see in the results. So the catalog is where you get started, and the catalog is huge. The catalog has a lot of filters, and you will need to use these filters because they have programs that are being, just a moment, they are showing programs that are based on all fields: architecture, economics, science, maths, physics. So if you do not filter what you're looking for, you will be scrolling through hundreds of different Erasmus Mundus programs. And just a little tip, it's going to be a little confusing, but if you filter well, it's going to be a good search for you. Once you filter, you will have the programs of your choice. For example, you want to look in chemical chemical engineering, you can easily filter it out, chemical engineering, and then you'll have like, let's say 10 programs. Once you have these 10 programs, you're going to have to find the link to each of these programs. So you click the program and then it's going to refer you to the program website. So this means that, let's say there are a total of 150 or 200 Erasmus Mundus programs. Each of them have their own websites and each of them have their own application portal. And also each of them have their own specific criteria for application. I'm saying this because everybody's application is going to look different. Every program is going to ask for different things. Some programs are like, we don't need IELTS. And some programs are going to be like, okay, if you have an IELTS, it's nice. It's nice to have, please attach. And then some programs are going to be like, IELTS is mandatory. So once again, it can be confusing, but now that I've shared it with you, I hope you have peaceful search. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Every year you will have like a set of new Erasmus Mundus masters added to the list. So every year, every time you're applying, you will see some new names. And the names are like emotion. For me it's emotion. Even though it's related to cosmetic and dermatological sciences, it's not exactly the abbreviation of the master. They just have like different code names. Completely irrelevant in most cases to the degree. So that is also something that confused me during my time because I don't understand why are these names like this. And each batch, like each program, gets the funding to run for 5 years. And after 5 years, they decide, the European Commission decides whether to continue or not, whether they're going to invest in the program or not. So yes, if there is a program that you like and you're thinking of applying, look how many intakes have been done and what is their process, like what's their status of funding, because it may not be there next year. Okay. And once it's done, let's say the 5 years are done and they get the funding, they get the green signal to continue, there will be one gap year where there are no scholarships being offered. Okay. So this is just for your information. You wouldn't find this on the Erasmus Mundus catalog. I just found it when I studied in the program. So I think it's going to be useful to you. And like I said, each master's website has all the details, the list of participating universities. The minimum is 2 universities. The maximum is like 3 or 4. And they have, again, different entry requirements and the steps of the application process. For example, for me, I had a 3-step process. At first, the initial application, which is, you just submit the documents, and then a video round where I have to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. I send the video, and then if you get cleared for that round, finally the interview. But then there are many programs that are just like 1 step. Maybe it's just the document step and that's it. And some programs are like 2 steps, documents and then the interview. And in most cases, the window for application, it runs from October to January. Okay. And here I should let you know that, once again, each of the programs have different deadlines. Okay. Overall, the window is from October to January. But if you're listing, let's say, three programs, you want to apply for three programs, they're going to have like three different deadlines. So keep that in mind. Not everything ends in January. That is important. Okay. Now moving on to the documents needed. First of all, the CV. I know that we all have a CV prepared more or less, right? I would prefer that it's in the Europass format. Now, what is the Europass format? Europass is like a specific form you fill out, like whatever is in your CV, you just put it out in the form, and the form is in a website. So when you type in Europass CV creator or generator, you get the official link to creating the CV. But then again, some of the programs may specifically say that, hey, you need to put it in Europass. Some of them may not. And in case, if you're really unsure, you can just go with the simple black and white we know. Okay, simple black and white template. Everything is listed accurately and briefly, but in a power-packed way. And yet, if you think it's difficult, there is always like program coordinators you will find on the program website who you can ask your queries directly, like, do you need this in this form or not? So always take advantage of that. It's very useful, especially when you're very new to applying for grad school programs. And secondly, the bachelor's degree, it's really important. You should have it ready or be in the last year of your studies. I know a lot of students who are in the program, but they also have a first master's degree. So Erasmus Mundus can also be your second master's degree, just so you know. And third, I'm saying it's my recommendation that you have the IELTS test done and the results in your hand, because you're just not applying to Erasmus Mundus, you're also applying to other universities, so you will be needing it. And besides, if you don't need it, like if you don't need IELTS exactly for the program to, let's say, to get qualified for the program, you will eventually need IELTS for the visa application, you know? So it's really best to have IELTS done and dusted. The fourth one is letter of recommendations. For this, it goes without saying, you should have contacted at least 3 or 4 professors or supervisors who you've worked with closely, and they should be contacted, and you need to have their consent ready, because when you're applying, you don't want to be contacting the professor for the first time, because this process of managing a referee is quite long, whether you like it or not. It just tends to be very stretched because professors are very busy and they have other students too in line who are asking for a letter of recommendation. So it's better to have the IELTS and the letter of recommendation like all cleared out. And the fifth one is the application forms. It's very easy. The program you're interested in, spend some time looking around what you have, what you don't have, and the resources are quite easy. It's right. It's usually very eye-catching, and you can easily download it and fill it out the soonest. Last but not the least is the most important, is the motivation letter. So we know this as the statement of purpose, right, for the US universities. And then there's also the personal statement, which is a little different than the statement of purpose, but the motivation is mostly like, you can think of it as mostly the statement of purpose. However, if you want, you can turn it into a little bit of a personal statement as well. I could call it a hybrid of a statement of purpose and personal statement, but just keep in mind, to sum up, that it's mostly a statement of purpose. Now, there are different types of student offers that you will receive. First is the full scholarship. Every program has like a set number of students they're going to award a full scholarship, and then a partial scholarship. But the partial scholarship, once again, it does not apply to all programs. Only some of the programs have partial scholarship. For example, my program Emotion, it has only full scholarship and self-funded. Yeah, so self-funded is where you just get the acceptance, but you have to fund everything on your own. Whatever the scholarship is providing is exactly whatever you have to pay fund yourself. And then the last one is waitlisted. This is when you have kind of a possibility to move up to any of these places, depending on the program. Sometimes they let you know, sometimes they don't. So if there's someone refusing the full scholarship or partial or even self-funded places, you will get moved up a place. And if you're lucky enough, then yes, you get offered to any of these. But yes, waitlisted is something you don't want to be. Like, this is the least wanted option out of all the four here. Now, writing the motivation letter, I want to share a few advice and few details, few tips and hacks on how you can write a very strong motivation letter. So, first of all, it's important that a motivation letter is not a formula or a template you have to follow. It is very personal. It is definitely about you, and it's one place you shouldn't be shy to talk about yourself because you are selling yourself here. And if you're looking for a formula or like a template to write a letter, then I would say that you're starting off in the wrong place. Okay. A strong letter should be about clarity, authenticity, and alignment. And like I said, it is deeply personal. It has to reflect you. The first point I would say for a strong motivation letter is it has to be evidence-based. You are talking about things that you've done, and there are examples to show for it. You're just not like talking blindly, like, yes, I have been to this conference and I've done this and that, but you have nothing to show for it, right? Do you have the certificate of attendance? Do you have any certificate of awards you won in the conference, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, it has to be evidence based. And if you think that, oh, are they gonna know? Like, trust me, like the admission committee has like pretty good experience and they can see through it, okay? And then the second one is forward looking. So here you should be clear about your vision of your next steps. Okay, it has to be realistic, it has to be confident. And at the same time, it cannot be something overly unrealistic. Okay, it should not be like, oh, I want to do this and that and blah, 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 but it's not realistic. You and I, we both know, but you're just putting it out there just for the sake of writing the letter. But you can write a letter. You can write a letter in many ways. But how to write a letter that works? How to write a letter that's going to get you a scholarship or an acceptance? So this is what I'm talking about. It has to be forward looking. You have to be clear on your future. What are you going to do? And authentic. Like I said, the first point, that it has to be written in your own voice. What happens is that many of the times we read a lot of sample letters, and then on the internet even, like it's available, right? What happens is that we kind of unconsciously pick up the voice or the way they're writing. Make sure that this does not happen. And I'm pretty sure that when you're writing, I think you can feel yourself doing this. I'm not saying don't read other letters on the internet or whatever to like get inspiration or ideas. I'm saying that when you do that, give yourself some time, some break where you're not reading these letters and form your own voice. That's going to make it sound way better than writing just after you read one letter or like a 10 letters. Okay? The next one, coherent and focused. Now, most of these programs are going to give you a limit, either a 2-page, 1-page, or even in words, like 800 words, 1000 words. These are like the common limits. Usually they say 1.5 page or 1 page. So everything that you say, think of it like you're spending money, okay? Treat the words like you're spending money. So that way you won't be overusing it or carelessly just writing things and taking up space. So everything that you say has a purpose. It shouldn't be, if you need to question, like, is this needed? What purpose is it serving? Is it really helping me build the story or not? The next one is aligned with the program. So if you can use the same exact letter for another program, the same exact, okay, I'm putting emphasis on same and exact, then that's not a strong motivation letter. It has to be aligned. It has to be tailored to the program. And last but not the least, concise and clear. Um, Here, this is mostly about I'm talking about the writing skills here. Your ideas need to be articulated clearly, and at the same time, you should have good grammar because yes, you may be providing your IELTS results, but this is also a part of the application. It also shows your English proficiency. So make sure that you're not writing something illogical or like grammatically wrong. And there's that. Now, here are some things, major what not to do's in a letter. The first one is writing your CV in prose. What this means is that you're just regurgitating everything you have in your CV in a story format for the letter. This is if there is anything you can do to ruin your application, this is it. Like just repeating the CV. They have your CV. They don't want to read another CV. Okay. So don't do that. Okay. Make your letter an extension of your CV. The next one is over dramatize hardships to impress. This is like trauma dumping. I feel like this is my personal opinion. I feel like trauma dumping used to work for the admission committees. Like, oh my God, you've been through so much and blah blah. But I think they are picking it up because everybody has kind of jumped on the bandwagon and started doing this, like trauma dumping and glorifying whatever hardships. Not downplaying your hardships, but turn it down a notch. If you think that you are really exaggerating it, best way to go about it is not to exaggerate it. If you think it added value in shaping who you are, you can say that completely, but say it without dramatizing it or whatever. The third one is using generic adjectives. Now, I could go on and on about this, but this is something similar to what I have been talking about, like evidence-based. It's very connected. When you're using or sprinkling adjectives like confetti, make sure that there is evidence. You can't just keep talking, yes, I'm motivated, but how do I know that? How do I know that this is not a lie? Think of yourself like someone in the admission committee. Like this person keeps talking about being motivated, hardworking, but I don't see it. Where is it? Yeah. And this brings me to the next one. Like you can't make claims. For example, you're claiming to be this and that, but where is the context? Where is the support? Yeah. So this is very important that if you want to say that you're very passionate, it should be visible somehow. Now it's hard. I know you can tell me that how do I show passion? You don't have to exactly show it, but you show it through the things you have done. Like you've done this and that, you have the extracurricular activities. For example, you like maybe you're a CRISPR fanboy or a fangirl. Do you have anything on CRISPR? And your program is also related to CRISPR, has like a very strong component related to CRISPR. So how is it? So maybe you can talk about, yeah, I've done some poster presentations, I've done some science projects, I've done some workshops. So yes, this is where my passion lies. You can't just say that this is my passion and not like back it up with something. And that's pretty much it from me, really. So I will be taking questions. Do you have any questions? I think you should have questions. All right, we have one. Let me see. I'm going to stop screen sharing. There is, you could send a message or you could also raise your hands. Okay, we have Oishi asking, is there a preference? Okay, for the first one, she's asking about how to choose referees. Now, the first and foremost importance, without saying, goes to your thesis supervisor, okay? Especially if your program has, like, if your program is research-based, like you can see it in your program website, okay? For any program website, really, that are you going to have a research thesis or like an internship? So you're going to do that. Okay, if it's research focused, very important that you have your thesis supervisor in it, because it's going to show you, it's going to set up your track record that this is a very good student. She has a history of working well in the lab and etc. And if you have a current employer, you could also, you could take their reference, but just see how is their position relevant to your program. Okay, if it's a lab or if it's like your, if it's a research organization, by all means, yes. I would say yes, go for it. But if it's not, then just think, yeah. And if you feel like you're unsure, then get another professor from your university. Usually, I mentioned 3 to 4. I said 4 because sometimes things go wrong. You're not able to get the recommendation letter from Professor X. Now you need to get it from Professor Y. But most of the applications require like 2, at at maximum, at best like 3. Okay? So you could have a current employer as a backup, like contact them and let them know, it doesn't really hurt talking to them. The next one, my IELTS expired about a month ago, but the program mentions, okay, are acceptable. In your opinion, should I retake it now or would the, okay, so when you have your program saying last 3 years is acceptable, don't, don't hesitate. It's okay. It's good enough. You can just show the old certificate and that's it. However, for visa purposes, I'm not so sure. It really depends on what country you're going. Sometimes they ask, now here's another thing, not related to Erasmus Mundus, but the European countries, most of them do not speak English, but for some reason you need to show English, that you speak English, okay, for getting the visa. Okay? So there's that. Like, you can do a rough check. I mean, not to induce some kind of anxiety, but for your program, you can just have a rough look at your visa requirements. What are they looking for? Just be a little wise and smart about it. So you can finish applying, and then if it's really needed, the IELTS for the visa, then you can time it, if you get the acceptance, and then you can just quickly do it, because the computer-based tests are like sending the results, I think, in less than a week. And also to retake it, it shouldn't take you a lot of preparation because you've already done it. So there's that. And then, is there a recommended way to explain my choice of routing among the 4 universities? Okay, so I am guessing your program is going to have semesters in 4 universities, like semester 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in my opinion, just so you know, I know it sounds very exciting, but it's also a life that is quite unstable. Okay, you're going to be in 1 month, let's say, sorry, 1 semester in France. That's like maybe 3, 4 months, and then the next semester you have to like pack everything up and move to what, Greece. Yeah, it's very exciting. I know it is, but you also have to go through the bureaucratic processes by yourself. The university is going to help you, but you still have to do your part and also like adjust to the country, adjust to the language, adjust to the ways people live in the country. There is that. Then that's like the personal part of it. Now the academic part of it, usually they have like tracks. Like country A is going to be preclinical, country B is clinical, and country C maybe some other kind of things they're working on. So if you want to go and explain that why, because this is what they're doing here, and I would like to base my career off this track, etc., then by all means, yes. But just so you know, for universities, this is how it's going to be. Okay, so Mominal asked, there are 4 that closing match, also not to apply. Okay. Okay, yes, 4. Yes, remember I was talking about 3 earlier, if you paid attention. That 3, now there used to be a rule. Again, it is confusing. Everything about this program is confusing. There used to be a rule where you could not apply to more than 3 programs. It was an old rule. In my time, um, I had, I did not have this rule applicable. I applied to 3 though. because my understanding is this, okay? Quality over quantity, okay? There's that. That's the first one. And the second one is your energy and time. You might think you have all the energy and all the time in the world, but honestly, when it comes to applying, you're going to be super drained. It's exhausting. Like you have to contact once again the referees. You have to make sure everything is aligned. You have to write different essays for specifically for this program. It's like wearing many hats. Yeah. So four, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's very difficult. It's very easy to find programs you like. But just for the sake of your own peace and like quality of applications, I would say try to pin it down, like narrow it down a little bit. Even if you can like remove one program, I think it's going to be easier for you. But if you feel like you can do it, like that's the only four program you're applying to and no other programs, then for sure, like you will be able to manage your resources, I believe. So there's that because I was applying to 10 programs, I think, and this is why I didn't want to put so much stress for like Erasmus programs. So that's my advice, okay? If you're confused, let me know, okay, Mominul? Next one is Wasika. As you said, we should add our experiences with evidence. My question is that I'm almost on. Will it be misleading? Okay, no, it's not going to be misleading. Here's the thing. Not everyone, like especially as an undergraduate, as a young student, not everybody has very applicable or very relatable experiences, okay? Your job is how you can tie it, okay? What did you learn? How can this experience help you in biomedical, okay? How can environmental biotech help you in biomedical? Think like that, okay? Shara, if there is an online review mentioned, how to prepare after. Okay, this one is this one is a bit tricky to answer. It's actually a lot of things. It's both of them. You never know. Okay, you never know. But the best way is to prepare for everything. You will have enough time. Don't worry about it. And when you get like accepted to a program, you know, like the happiness of getting accepted, you will forget everything else and you will be super focused on like preparing for your interview. They will also ask you when you're available. So you can also pick your time when suits you so that you can prepare like to the maximum. So this is my advice. Check out. You will also, I think they will also share the interviewer or like the panel who's going to be meeting you. Usually the interviewer emails are like, hey, you know, you've been, congratulations, and you've been selected for round two. Please let us know when you're available. So do some stalking on the interviewer, really. So I would say like prepare for every single scenario that you have. That's all. Do we have any more questions?
I want to add something here. Sorry. So
Yes.
all the fellows here and the future aspiring candidates. So we will be having one-to-one interview and other sessions with the mentors
Okay.
on the Scholar Track website and everything. So we'll be like
Yes.
sending all those details later. So don't worry about it. Different kind of
Okay.
interviews, Erasmus or United States, even visa. So we'll arrange those one-to-one interview with the mentors.
Oh, okay. That's even better. Like, let's say some of you have progressed around the application rounds and you're stuck, you're confused, especially for the visa application. It can drive you crazy. So if you need extra help, extra mentoring, feel free to reach out to Salman Bhaiya and me even. So there's that. Do we have any more questions? Anyone? Anything? Nothing is too silly to ask, so feel free. Okay, some programs require a motivational video instead of SOP. Any brief tips or suggestions on how to prepare one effectively? Okay, so this is what I did for I did the SOP and the video. Our program was very rigorous. It was quite difficult to keep passing the rounds, but I would say for the video, here's the thing, and take what you want from here. I shot my video like in my bedroom using the sunlight. I had 6 hours. I had 6 hours of daylight and I had to like complete recording my video. And then when I get into the program, I see a guy from Vietnam, and he used like drone shots in his video. So him and we're all together in the same program. Okay, so don't overthink it. Okay, don't overthink on aesthetics. Usually they give you, for the motivational video, they do ask some questions that you need to answer. So form your answers according to that. And apart from equipment, etc., like lighting, do your best. Okay, it doesn't, like I told you, I just shot it like I would have shot the video in my garage. That's how I was feeling. I didn't even have a tripod. I used pillows and books to like stabilize my phone and record it, and it was still professional enough. You get what I mean? And the other student used like ground shots in a tea garden, and he was explaining his, not mocking anyone, but just giving you an idea. Like this is how like the applications go. Like this is the whole spectrum. And if you have any other follow-up questions, Mominul, you can ask.
Alrighty, so we'll come back to the question. So
Okay.
there is some session assignment, and here it was excellent. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
and
you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to help out students.
definitely it's just a start. Today was an introduction, but we
Yes.
are processing even more structurally and also through the website. So I would like to show my screen. I would want everyone to stay because there will be something for you guys. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yep, it's visible.
Awesome. So here, week 2, everyone, I would like to request you all to pay some attention because we were supposed to talk about the academic and professional profile building. So we have an assignment on that. So if you have listened to Hiya, she mentioned a couple of things, and I'm kind of like pointing this out. So academic achievements mapping, as you can see, you need it for a couple of purposes, like make your SOP, make your profile, make your videos like that, depending on the countries, depending on the like scholarships. Then you need to identify your strengths and improvement areas, of course. Then extracurricular leadership developmental strategy and building a strong professional footprint. So let's just talk about this one for now. Building a strong professional footprint like social media, LinkedIn, portfolios, networking, and everything. What you can start with your, like cleaning your Facebook and start professional LinkedIn. Well, whenever you are having something, you can make useful connections through LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn is a little bit backdated right now. Things are coming up, but still try to keep one. From now, try adding everything, what you achieved, which are relevant, which can be, like useful and important. At the same time, social media, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. So as you can see in United States, they actually wait for social media footprints and stuff. So I can tell from my personal experiences, I was very like, I don't know what it came to my mind when I was in undergrad back in 2013 or 14, like 10, 15 years ago. So for some reason, I started like not putting anything other than, like academics or memes. You can do some unharmful memes, that's fine. But other than that, we're not putting anything. So I started like putting only my students' achievements or something relevant. That's it. So, and then when I faced USA interview, that time that was for a business in MIT, not for any sort of like study or something. I was a student back in that time. Single student, but the visa interview was very smooth. They were like waiting and everything. I think that helped. So we'll talk about it later. Um, Now it comes to personal website. You see, this when he was like talking about those admission committees, sometimes they vet for whatever you mentioned in your SOP or somewhere that you did this and that. So evidence, like the evidence she mentioned. So try to put a personal website. We'll help you with that. ScholarTrack will introduce website builder for you as well. So that's more like you'll have everything evident to your photo. Let's say you got a prize, you went to a conference somewhere in some other country, or you have social activities. There will be sectionized, and you put that, and it helps a lot. All the MIT professors, they actually tell their students to have a personal website, and also your achievements, your all those documents, certifications, your skills, your um, publications, everything can be there. I will have separate mentoring for that, and also we'll provide, the template and how to build it and everything. You just put your information, we'll build it for you from ScholarTrack. So let's actually go to our assignment here. So now, next 1 or 2 weeks, I will actually ask you about this. The next session, if you can do it, is good, or the fourth session. So your assignment is from now, have your passport, start your passport updating, keep your NID, all the certificates. It can be birth certificate, it can be SSC, HSC, or A-level, O-level certificates. It can be your academic certificates, like after undergrad. It can be any certificate that you achieved from your co-curricular or extracurricular activities. And if you have any licenses, like, any skill-based licenses, let's say you have PCR. I don't know about in Bangladesh, they probably don't provide it in that way. They just give you a certificate. But anyways, for example, in the United States, you can have forklifting certificate, or like crane, or something like that. Any sort of like skill-based licenses, or even it can be driving license, any documentations. Put it in make a Google Drive, put everything there, your photo, your passport, your all kind of documents. That's one of your tasks. Do it. I'm sure like many of you already have this, but if you don't, do it. Then your academic achievements. Here, this one. Okay. So your academic achievements, all of list them down, keep the certificates, same time in the same folder, the same Google Drive, but in a different folder. Segmentize that. And then all of your experience records. It can be any conference, it can be any social activities, it can be any academic, skill-based experiences, or even your job, your internship, anything. Make the records with all the details and which time to which time. Like, let's say 12 December 2025 to 15 November 2026. Why I'm saying this? Because many of the application portals, let's say in the United States, PhD, they actually mention it. Which time to which time you are working in that particular internship or in that company. So sometimes we don't have those records. Even it works for your academics. Like, let's say your class started at like fall 2022 or 2021, and from when to when. Make all the records from now, right now, today, okay? Sometimes what happens, like we go to application form and like we try to do it and we don't have those at that moment. Maybe we're doing it at the last moment and then we don't have any of the records. It's very hard sometimes to get it out at the last moment. So make all these timelines, keep it in the documents, Google Docs, so that you can update anytime, and all of your leadership activities, co-curricular, extracurricular records. So be careful about the co-curricular and extracurricular. So sometimes we mix them up, but co-curricular, we'll talk about it in the proper session, but for now, extracurricular, you understand, right? Those of your other talents, and it can be anything. If you can play guitar, if you are dancing, if you are doing something for socially, that can be. But co-curricular, it's more like relevant to your subject or relevant to your academics or relevant to your career. something like that. So this one matters a lot, mostly for many of the scholarships. And extracurricular, it is kind of like your Ivy League applications. They sometimes focus on this, CC and ECA more. We'll have a separate discussion on that. And also letter of recommendations. I would say try to make draft of like at least three letter of recommendations in next 1 month. Or if you have hurry, you can do it faster. Uh, Keep them ready depending on your professors. Of course, your first task when you start your undergrad, since many of you already done with your undergrad or at the last stage, so I can't say this right now, but at the same time for the freshers, I would say try to identify and like start having good relation with many people. Like it can be your professors, it can be your teachers, it can be any of the admin, it can be your boss in your um, job sector or internship, or even sometime your mentors. Try to have multiple recommender, building connection from the beginning. Not necessarily it has to be from your university. Of course, you need at least a couple of teachers from your university at the same time. You can start doing it with other people. Let's say you are working with an organizations. So you can have good relation with that the key people over there. You can ask recommendations later from them. So keep connections. Actually, this session is for the freshers, but I hope you get the point. So these are the things you have to make for next 1 or 2 weeks. I'll definitely this fourth session I will ask from all of you if you have made this or not, and also your academic transcript and evaluation. I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. So try to have your academic transcripts and certificate withdrawn from your university. Sometimes it may take time. I know the private universities, they don't take more than 2-3 business days. But at the same time, if you are from other universities, it may take some time. So be careful about it. And if you need like evaluation, you may have to do it. And then building a strong professional footprint, as I talked about it before. So your personal website comes in handy for that. So now Hiya was talking about Europass format. This is
Yes, sir.
Europass format.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for showing that. I really wanted to show, but then I was like, oops, I don't have it ready.
it's okay. We also have Europass format link, like downloadable link.
I think I like to add one thing that Europa, this format will be also available in our Scholar Track AI platform. At the end, we are just going to give you an overview and how you can make all these documents through Scholar Track AI. So by Monday or Tuesday, you're going to find this exactly this template in the platform.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it right now. So in ScholarTrack website, so what we are going to do is we will have separate like dedicated pages for your different country-based web scholarships, applications. And let's say you are trying to apply for EU scholarships or Erasmus or other EU scholarships. So you will find this CV generator. I'm going to show you after this session briefly. And you can put your information, you can find that. And for that, to gather all of your information like this, today I'm going to Tanfia will send you a link where you can download one of the templates. It's not the CV template. I'm going to show you here this one. So if you see this is an academic profile. You put your full name, email address, research interest, education, publications, whatever you have, right? So these things I would want next week, not 2 weeks later, next week. By next week, when you get this link today, you put all the information here. It will come kind of like a skeleton for your CV. So that thing will help you to copy and paste from this to the ScholarTrack CV generator or Europass, let's say, whatever you need, you can copy and paste them. But make sure that Word file, you gather all of your information in that document by 1 week, okay? And then let's talk about a little bit about this evaluation. It's basically needed for American scholarships like PhD, masters, but many of the university in the United States, they are waiving GRE, WS, or credential evaluation, but you can do it. Like what you have to do is like create an account. We go to WS website. It takes some time. That's what I'm telling you right now. Then you go for the evaluation course by course. Remember this, course by course. You select that. Then they will ask you some documents like your basically your transcript and your certificate. So you upload them. Then they will give you a window to pay for that, $200, $300, 300 or 350 right now. Then they will like start doing the evaluation, send that report back. So how do you submit that? There are a couple of ways. You can, it looks like a very jumbled up, so I'm not going to talk more about it. But what you have to do is you go to your university and tell them, I need the transcript and certificate, and then you take it, you can DHL to the WACE address, and to the sender's information, you write your university transcript office address so that they understand that transcript office or university sending that. And also, there is an email. You tell a request the transcript office to email your documents, scanned documents to WACE website. So in both ways, you send in both ways, and then you pay for, you can track if they're doing it or not. Then they'll send you electronically and or like in hard copy, but usually they send electronically. You can use it later. So for example, in back university, they're like Yusufba, you can just go to them. They know what to do. They will tell you what to do. And IUB, they're like a transcript office, and other universities, they have their transcript office. So now talk about, and here I was talking about ECTS, the credit conversion. So usually it's not that hard headache. They don't give you that much headache about it. So there is a breakdown how academic year counts, like ECT credits, and the transcript you have, they will like evaluate based on the course content, contact hours, and everything. But you don't have to worry about it. There are some evaluations like WS for the United States or North America, like Canada, but Europe may have NENIC or NARIC. But so you can see in the red mark, you apply to the specific country, NARIC, not necessarily every country has the same thing. But as far as I know, I never faced when I was like applying for, European countries, they never asked me.
Yeah, could I pitch in?
Of course, please.
Yes, I think it's not really like, I agree. Like, it's very, how do I say? It's not so central, very specific. So I think it wouldn't be a lot of trouble to navigate through these networks.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying whenever I was applying for EU countries, 100% of the times I actually never faced the needed evaluation. So it's just here for your information. If they need it specifically mentioned, then you go for it. Otherwise, it's not like WS. Some university actually wants it in North American, but in Europe, I don't see this is very necessary. So as I said, like do not require third-party agencies most of the time. You don't have to be too much worried about it. It's just for your, knowledge. But do one thing. All of your official academic transcripts, degree certificate, grading scale explanation means, like from A grade, B grade, the range of marks and everything, keep them ready. It's usually a backside of your transcript, usually. So it should be there. And your course description. So usually there is a website for all those degree programs, let's say biotech program, CSC program. They have it in, if you have a good website of your university. So copy and paste, make a document, and keep a link of that program page. Many of the universities, they actually ask for it. And certified translations, if not English, then you have to like translate and notarize it. But usually our transcripts and certificates are in English. That's fine. And passport and ID. So keep them ready. So course descriptions, whenever you are doing your study, just keep copy and paste it, because sometimes it changes. Later, I heard so many of my uh, like my peers and my friends, they asked me, like, can you please give me the course description of like 2020, 2011 or 2020, sorry, 2012, 2013. Then I have to go back, because I kept all the records from back in that time in a Google Drive. So now things changed, but I can like pull it out anytime, right? So whenever you are doing it, keep a record, copy and paste, make a document in the Google Doc. It can be useful in certain cases. I'm not saying it's like always necessary, but see, many people asked me for that back in my time, because they didn't keep any like record, and I kind of like kept in everything in Google Drive. Every email, all the assignment I did or submitted or thesis, I kept in Google Drive from like last 10, 15 years. And they helped me a lot in different cases. So now let's go to the website here. You start your journey. If you can see the website, I would say have some time here in this website. We'll mention about the mentors
Pro-
very soon. Yeah,
Prawn bhai, if you want, I can go through the website.
yeah,
Is that
sure.
sure? I'll be sharing the screen and I will just go through the website. Yeah. Hi everyone. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah. So as you can see that ScholarTrack AI, with the ScholarTrack AI tool, we just try to make all the process that Pranbhai and Hiya who just told about. We try to make the process much more easier, and the platform basically works towards finding you the most best scholarships, as well as gives you tool to develop all those documents that Pranbhai and Hiya who just told about. So just as the assignment is given, so I will just go through all the document development tools that are there, which you can use to develop your documents, such as your CV, Europa CV, your SOPs, and as well as your LORs. And you can also receive AI review from the platforms. Our platforms are already like trained on specific scholarships, on winning scholarship essays. So just let me go through one by one. So just giving you a overview. So as you can see, the first part I'm just going through by making my account. So I'm just giving an overview, and what the second part is basically where you will get the tools. But I'm just making one account for myself and showing you how to do it and how to use the tools. So once you make an account, it will basically ask you to ask you a few questions regarding your current academic situation and what you want to pursue, and basically then it will give some recommendation, and it will give you the tools. So I'm just going through all the questions in front of you so that you can understand how to go through the questions, and then go to the next part. So here you go. So I've just gone through giving all the uh, dates and my required documents. Please be a bit patient as I go through the uh, questionnaires so that I can reach to the other parts of the development tools that you will find more useful. But as I'm going through, I will just give you a brief overview of how the platform, the questionnaire works, so that you are being matched with your right scholarships. So here your current education level is given. Here you just enter your CGPA. If you have taken any standardized tests, you can say yes or no. The countries you want to study at. For example, I want to study in Canada. Australia, or Sweden and any European country. I can give that. For example, I'm applying for fall semester 2026. I'm applying for my master's. I'm applying for computer science and some of my maybe research, leadership, and technology. Come on. Sure, sure. Here you basically answer that what your career goals are. And after, so once you answer all the question, it will create a profile of me and match me with all the relevant scholarships that are most relevant to me. So as you can see that it has matched me with a few of the scholarships that are available and that matches my profile. And as you can see, most probably I will add few of the scholarship to my dashboard. So we will have specific, we are adding another specific page just for Erasmus scholarship, and the top scholarships such as DAD and other scholarships, that will have the total flow of how you can apply to the scholarships and get results. But now I will go into my scholarship. As you add the scholarship, you can see that the scholarships are added, and now I will just basically introduce you to the tools that can help you develop all the documentation. So as you can see that we have few AI tools and CV generator tools with which you can basically develop your documents in seconds. With our SOP generation tool, you can see that there are a few questions. Once you start answering this question, it will basically uh, try to understand your story and the scholarship you're applying to. It's connected on the back end, so it will generate a personalized SOP for you. And our SOP generator is already trained on 100 winning SOP. So you don't need to submit this, but take it as a reference. You can have if you have already written an SOP, you can basically upload it here and get an AI review. And there are also sample of winning SOPs given here, which you can basically go and have a look while you are writing or you have like written an SOP. So this all SOPs have already received the scholarship. So you'll have a good reference on how to write your SOP. You can see that there is a CV generator tool. Currently, this is the standard CV tool, CV templates that we have. But we are going to just add the Europa CV on within 1 or 2 days. So what you need to do is you just need to the template is there. You just need to fill up all the information here, and your Europa CV will be ready to download. We have tried to make it as easy as possible, so you don't need to go into Word, uh, like simplify it, work with the alignments and anything. Everything will be just there. You just need to fill up the blank spaces, and you'll be done with your Europa CV. But the details is what you need to create and what you want to represent. So here as you go, that you'll be able to add your experience, your academics, and everything here. So sometimes your university instructor sometimes tells you to write a LOR. So if you want to generate an LOR through our AI, you can also do that. You just give the information about what course, what university, or what subject did you study, what was the result, and as part that, an LOR would be generated. It's a good reference and good starting point for how you start your generating your letter of recommendation. Here are samples already given. So you can also have a look at this. Uh, After you have developed all those documentation, you can also basically upload them and have an AI review. And after an AI review, uh, you can also like book session with your mentors. So that's all. So I just gave you an overview of how you can use our tools to get your documentation ready very fast. And also, all those documentations are trained on top winning SOPs. The templates are very defined. You will just have within Tuesday, you will have a separate page for Erasmus, which Tanfia will share with you. So with that page, you can just within, I think within few days, I think you can build up all the documents. So, uh, Prawn bhai, back to you.
Yeah, great. So as you can see, there will be a lot of integration to the website. And yes, there's a question when we can expect one-to-one session review. That will be also from, you can like keep an eye on the page and our group and also our website. So you have this one-to-one session review and SOPLOR is basically, it's a mentorship program. That's a different thing. So fellowship and mentorship program is a different thing. That will be a personal dedicated sessions. So we'll talk about it really soon. And also, okay, your application deadlines are in January. All right, Muminul Islam, we'll get back to you with that. And in the meantime, we are, if you don't have any question for today, you can like raise your hand, ask the question in the chat. And also if you have personal like deadlines, please try to communicate like personally with email or like separately to the page. So I want to end with one thing. Please, the thing I mentioned, will give some on the list and try to like make and like gather all this information so that you can use the website and you can build your profile, CVs, and everything. You know, like, or at least you can start working on those. So if you have any question for anything here, anyone?
Prawn bhai, I would like to add something. So if you give me an opportunity, so I would like to address the student fellows here that uh, I think starting with your resume, starting with your CV to SOP and your whole documentation, I think you can very easily utilize our platform at Scholar Track AI. It would be a very good starting point. And uh, I think as Prawn bhai has already given you a deadline of submissions in the next with the next week, as you have got a basic idea of the Erasmus scholarship, I think Prawn bhai would also recommend you to get started with the documentation. And we at Scholar Track within Tuesday, I think provide you a separate page for Erasmus scholarship with all of our tools with which you can start building your documentation. And then I think once you have the documentation ready, obviously in the next class or anything, you can, if you have it ready, you can ask question and so on. So we have made the platform. Please, I feel that it might be useful for you. So go use it. We will share the link and everything. So yeah, sure. Use it and make the best use of it, and hope you all get a scholarship. So yeah, Pranbhai, back to you. And
Yeah, that's it. For me, as I said, there will be week 2 assignment. At least I'm gonna give the assignment task in the group so that they can like gather information. And next week, hopefully, we'll get all those links and start building our CVs and everything. And if you have any personal deadlines, as I said, like contact with us. We'll schedule our sessions with you. And if anyone here, any question about today's session or any confusion? Alrighty. So if you don't have any question or confusion, then I would like to thank everyone here, especially Hiya. Thank you for your time, and we'll have you as our mentor soon. And we'll be having and publishing all the details. And all the students, I would like to give you best of luck because many of you are applying, many of you are trying to apply. so that we can like create our own all those documentation and application materials by the deadlines. All right.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Looking forward to mentoring the students.
Definitely. Thanks again. All right. If you don't have any question, we can end the sessions. Thanks again.